Yes, it is true. This is a can of Miller Lite. Hey everyone, it's a Brain Muffin beer review, and here today we have a fine Pilsner beer in the likes of Miller Lite. Yes, it actually says Miller on the can. Something from Miller Coors, supposedly started in 1855 with the worst ingredients money can buy. I don't know if this is double hopped or triple hopped or any of that other non-hoppy nonsense that you find on a craft beer or some mega beer trying to be craft. Inside is a fine Pilsner beer brewed with the highest quality ingredients. We use choice hops from the Pacific Northwest as well as Noble Says hops and deliver more taste, aroma, and color with only 96 calories per 12-ounce can. Must be true because it's printed right on the side. Alright, so Pacific Northwest, so I'm guessing perhaps Cascade or Northern Brewer, most likely perhaps Northern Brewer for bittering. Says hops, that is a noble hop and that is a characteristic of Pilsner beer. Also as a characteristic of Pilsner beer is a nice deep golden color, maybe slightly yellow, very drinkable and a lasting smoothness and a texture that just glorifies the food you are eating. Do you think Miller Lite's going to hold up to that standard? I highly doubt it, but let's find out. So straight out of the refrigerator, because we know this crap beer becomes crap when it's proper serving temperature. Now, on the nose, it does smell like a Pilsner beer poured through a used gym sock. So slight hints of sourness and off aromas already. Now I'm going to do a more or less gentle pour because one of the characteristics of these mega brews is they are carbonated out the yin-yang because, well, they wouldn't have anything else otherwise. So, on the nose, just like out of the can, it smells like it wants to be a Pilsner beer, and we do have the right coloring, although we're probably on the low side of the SRM, and we have this very active carbonation that we would come to expect from a Pilsner beer. Now, the purists are going to say, if it's a Pilsner, then it needs to be in a fluted glass, and they would be correct. The mug, like this, is the wrong avenue to enjoy this beer. So already I have a faux pas. Now we do have a nice head. It is foamy, so perhaps there is some real carbonation after all, or in their bright tank they're using an extremely small air stone to get small bubbles. Man. Now, the head does have remnants of Says hops, but very lightly. It also has a bit of a bready feel and texture, with hints of slight maltiness, but not a whole lot. At some point, I like to actually get to the beer. Now, there is developing an odd aftertaste and latent bitterness that is that's happening as the beer opens up to the air and things start to oxidize, as well as starting to warm up. Now, some people are going to wonder, why are you speaking like that? Because I've been told I'm too boring on these videos and I need to speak with a bit more enthusiasm. But I need to make sure I don't turn into a puker like that guy who does the NASCAR races. Oh my God, they're going into the corner. I can't do it. He's an idiot. But here's the thing. This has remnants of a Pilsner beer, okay? So most likely the regular Miller is like a mediocre Pilsner. I don't know if I've ever had it. Miller High Life or Genuine Draft, no, High Life's a different beer altogether. Alright, so I finally got to the beer itself. Now, drinkability, it's okay, but again, that latent sourness, off flavors, off aromas, not off coloring, but the off flavors are starting to mount. And the more I drink this, the more the off flavors are kind of dancing around in my mouth. So instead of having these Noble Says spicy characteristics like it should have, and dancing around in my tongue just eager for that next bite of German food, so whether it's goulash soup or say a good Wurst or Wiener Schnitzel or Jäger Schnitzel or something, you know, Schweinhaxen, Schweinhaxen, something like that. Paprika, really good stiff cheese. My tongue is saying, what are you doing to me? The more you drink this, the worse it's going to get. My stomach is even starting to be. This is why I firmly believe they put various chemicals in these beers, because every one of these mega beers, I have reactions like I don't have with any craft beer whatsoever. Even the sour beers, even the wild yeast beers, the ones with lactose in them, the ones with brettanomycin, all that stuff. None of them. And I can get really blitzed on craft beer and I feel fine the next day. This stuff, I'm going to have a headache just drinking what little I'm going to do on camera, because I can guarantee you I'm not drinking it off camera. And somebody's come home. So I gave this beer a 1 out of 5 previously. Now, that's a 1 out of 5 comparing it to good beers. In beers of this category, this is about a 2 3/4. I say that because it has hints of Say's characteristics, but not fully. It has hints of what a Pilsner beer should be, but not fully, not even a third. And that sourness and that off flavor that lingers in the mouth after you've had this is another 1/4 point reduction. It's like you took a 3.5 out of 5 Pilsner light beer and you skip on the hops, you put chemicals in it, and you have when you have big vats like that, quality controls are much more difficult to maintain, and you get fermentations that aren't equal, and so you'll get off flavors after it's been canned and shipped. So you can do your tasting in the brewery and everything's good. You send it to your can line, and of course with this delicate a beer. Now this is one of the things I will say about all these beers. They are extremely difficult to make, and that is 100% true. To have something so tasteless, for the most part, there should be hints of malt sweetness. There is none. There should be hints of hop spiciness from the Say's hops mid-mouth and on the after aroma, especially when you belch. There's none. What you have are hints of chemicals and hints of sourness, almost like a sourdough, because the beer is not fermented well, and that's what happens in those large vats. I know it's only 4%, and you might say, well, it's still low alcohol. No, the yeast cannot work in vats that large effectively, and it gets tired and it produces off flavors, many of which you can't taste until the beer has settled in age for a bit, and or at temperatures that would be higher than the recommended serving temperature. Pilsner should be at 45 degrees. You go to Germany and get a Pilsner and it's below maybe 40 on the outset, it would be extremely rare. You're more likely to get that as a radler than as a beer, because Pilsners need to be open up. They're not cheap lagers. They're supposed to have these nice aromas and really dance around the tongue and really complement any food that you're eating, especially German foods. That's what they're for. It's liquid bread. It's supposed to enhance the meal. This makes the meal worse. And so I'm leaving it there. I'm going to leave it as a 1 out of 5 in Untapped, because that's what I did previously. I'm not going to change that. This stuff's already giving me a headache. It's already making me nauseous. So I don't know what all Miller Coors puts in their product, but it is crap. So there you go, everybody. I have finally reviewed one of the crap beers. I will do stuff like Budweiser and the rest eventually when I need another headache to come on, because Budweiser, the chemicals and crap they put in their beer give me headaches nearly instantly, and they are massive, and we'll see if I can do it. All right, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for clicking like. Thanks so much for subscribing, and we'll see you. Goodbye. Oh. You're kidding me. Miller Lite. 4.2 oh, I've already checked into this. 4.2%, 10 IBUs. Oh, that was that little splash and dash.